Okay, so in this week we are going to learn how to simplify radicals. So let's go over the different parts. On the radical symbol, which is this right here, there's going to be an index number. Now, if the index number is not written, then there's an imaginary 2, okay? And so that means square root. The number inside the radical sign is called the radicand. I don't typically use that word though, just so you know. So what we want to do is we want to use factor trees or to break down the number inside, and we want to break that number down into numbers that are being multiplied until we can't break them down any further. Once we find all the prime factors, because this is a square root, we are going to look for doubles. The rule is, if you have a double inside, you can take them out and you write it once on the outside. Singles need to stay inside. So let's go ahead and do some examples. So let's look at 24. So you will want to use scratch paper when you're doing these problems, and you need to come up with any two numbers that multiply together to give you 24, except we don't use 1, okay? And so I think of 24 as 4 times 6. Now, if you pick different factors, this will still work and we'll get the same answer, okay? So I'm going to cross out 24, and now I want to focus on 4 times 6. Now, I want to keep breaking these down until I can't anymore. So 4 is 2 times 2. So I'm going to cross out the 4 because we don't want to look at it. And 6 is 2 times 3. Okay? And so these are all still in the radical. Now, because this is a square root, we want to look for doubles. So here are two 2's. The way it works is we're going to pull those out, and I write 1 2 that goes on the outside of the radical. Inside, we've got a 2 and a 3. So because those are single of each number, they have to stay inside. And so we multiply anything that came out, and then we multiply anything that had to stay inside back together. And so root 24 can be written as 2 root 6. You will not have decimal answers, okay? All right, let's try a second example. So on 80, we want to come up with any two numbers that multiply to give us 80. So I think of 8 times 10, okay? And so these are still in the radical. Notice we're not changing the value, we're just rewriting it. So 8 we can break up as 4 times 2, and 10 is 2 times 5. And the only number I can break up is 4. So 4 is 2 times 2, okay? So now we want to go ahead and look for doubles. So here's a double. That means we're going to write a 2 on the outside. Here's a double, 2, so we have to write another 2 on the outside. And 5 is a single. I do like to underline the singles so I don't forget. So we multiply the outside numbers back together to get 4. And the only single number inside is 5. And so root 80 is also the same value as 4 root 5. Okay, so we're going to try 2 more. Notice the numbers just get larger, but it's still the same process. So 96. I think of, well, 96 probably divides by 3, so you want to use a calculator, and we get 32. Okay, and those are still under the radical. So the 3 is going to stay. I'm just going to bring it down. And 32 is also known as 8 times 4. Now, I'm going to show you a little different strategy on this problem. So 8 can be broken down as 2 times 4. Now, I know I can break 4 down, but as soon as you get a double, you can take it out. You don't have to break it down, even if it can, okay? So that means that 4 is going to go out, and the 3 is single, and the 2 is single. So those stay, and we're going to multiply those back together. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, let's try one last problem. We have 108. So I know 108 is 2 times 54. Okay? And let's see, I'm going to keep the 2, but I don't want to forget about it, so I'm going to bring it down. And 54 I think of as 2 times 27. So I have a double 2. We can bring that out. Okay? 27 is 3 times 9. And 9 breaks up into 3 times 3. So I have a double 3. It doesn't matter which ones you picked. So that's also going to come out. And we have this single 3. So you do have to keep track of which numbers go out and which numbers don't. So I like to circle and underline. So on the outside, we'll multiply those. 3 times 2 gives us 6. And on the inside, we had that 3. Okay? All right, so that is a good start. Please come to the live Zoom, and I will do some different examples so you can see more.